Testing, 1, 2, 3, testing. Hi, this is Dovid Orlofsky, and welcome to Season 2 of the Parsha in 5. I have to tell you full disclosure, last year when we did this, I just sat down and whatever came to mind about the Parsha, I said, not taking into account the fact that I might have to do this again. Now, I'm not really worried. I have enough material. I used to give a Parsha shir when I taught in seminary on Friday morning, and I had two basic shiurim that I would give for Shana Aleph and then Shana Bet, and it came back. But I had girls who had graduated and would come and drop in for a third or fourth year. And I said, don't worry, I got more stuff. So I actually had to go back and listen to what I said because I didn't keep any notes. I just talked off the top of my head. So this is a new season. I went back and listened to what I did. I didn't know we would be renewed for another season. So don't worry, I got plenty more to talk about. Yeah, Parsha in 5. So it's very interesting as you read the story in creation, where apparently the Bria itself messed up. As we know, it says that the moon complained and said, hey, you can't have two kings with one crown. So you can't have me be as bright as the sun. And then HaKadosh Baruch Hu said, you're right. And he shrunk the moon. Yeah. It's described as the moon did a chait, which is kind of hard because even if you go like the Rambam, that the sun and the moon are sentient beings, but they certainly don't have free choice. They can't do what they want, right? They have to follow rules. Even though the Gemara says that HaKadosh Baruch Hu has to shoot arrows at the sun to get it to come out in the morning, But they don't really have choice in the way that a human being does. How could they do a chait? The second one is the trees. He told the trees to come out tasting like the fruit, and it didn't. The trees came out tasting like wood. The one exception is the esrog tree, where the tree itself tastes like an esrog, but that's the exception. And in fact, the trees did not listen. So the trees did a chait, and that's why Rashi says that after Adam did his chait, the earth was punished too, because the earth did not bring out the trees tasting like the fruit. So this is a strange concept. How could the moon do a sin? How could the trees do a sin? So Moshe Shapiro said what it means is you have to build into the Bria the possibility of sin, or you could never sin. Now, HaKadosh Baruch Hu had to build into the Bria the chance you could do a sin, because otherwise, how could you ever go against HaKadosh Baruch Hu? So the possibility of going against God had to be built into the Bria. What would have happened if the moon was as bright as the sun? So at night, you'd be able to see as clearly as during the day. Now that the moon is not as bright as the sun, it creates shadows and illusions. As the Mesil Shasharm says, you see a tree and you think it's a person. You see a person, you think it's a tree. Yeah. The way Rabbi Moshe put it is you're walking and you see a puddle, but it's really just a shadow. And to you, it looks like a puddle. We don't see clearly. What would have happened if the trees tasted like the fruit? When you plant the tree, it could sometimes take years to get fruit, right? The Chazal say that a carob tree takes 70 years to bear fruit. So you have this tree, you don't know what it is. If you could have just scraped off a little of the bark and tasted it, you would know this is a peach tree, this is a plum tree, this is an apple tree. Now it just has a distinctly woody taste. All right? That's what they write on these bottles of scotch. It tastes like oak and vanilla. Trust me, you got to drink a lot of that before you're tasting vanilla. Yeah. I never tasted any vanilla. Anyway, but after enough of it, you're like, it tastes like vanilla. So what does those two things do? That is the shorish of every sin that we do in this world. Because since we don't see what the end product is, we don't appreciate the process. Right? I've often quoted Rabbi Kalish, respect the process, right? If you knew when you tasted the tree you're going to get apples, it would be much easier. But we work in all of this world to get to Olam Haba. We don't know what Olam Haba is. The tree doesn't taste like it. And what's even worse is we live in a world that's like night, where there are shadows and illusions. and we think good is bad and bad is good, because the moon is not as bright as the sun. If it was, we would see as clearly during the night as we do during the day. Everybody makes mistakes, and that's what a chet is. A chet is machti et hamatara, I missed the target. We make mistakes. Why? Either because we don't see what's going on, we're blind to the results, we don't know what we're doing, the consequences, or we're actually fooled by thinking that the bad things we do are good things, and then we justify it and strengthen it. And so we should know as we begin the new year that this is built into creation, and it's our job to be able to look beyond those illusions and darkness and find the emes. Good Shabbos.